Good morning everyone. We are the group 6, so I am here to discuss about placement. So what is placement assessments? So placement assessments are used to place students into a course level or academic program. So for example, assessment may be used to determine whether a student is already for algebra or higher level course. So placement are administered before a course or program begins, and the basic intent is to match students with appropriate learning experience that address their distinct learning needs. So for more information, let's hear from my groups.
So, now we will determine which educational placement fit or appropriate for them. So, we have a lot of options for educational placement. First is general education class with modifications. It is an academic modification is a change to what a student is taught or expected to do in school. So for example is less homework or easier assignments. But before using a modification, it's better to try changing how a child learn, or we must try using a different teaching strategy. So next is general education class with related services. It provides work together to meet the needs of the students with a disability. So they help make it easier for kids to participate in class and in after school activities.
Special education class in a special education. So, some special students is need more intensive instruction and support and educated in a special education class in a special education school. So, teams of a professionals with a special education teacher work with special students with disabilities and in additional needs in a highly specialized settings. The fourth one is self-contained special education class in a general education. So, other special students need more intensive support that is not provided in a general education class. So, teams may decide to recommend placement for a child for more restrictive settings such as a self-contained special education class but still located in a general education school. So, in this learning environment, all students receive individualized and group instruction with peers with disabilities and additional needs from a special education teacher. Depending on a program goals, students may be given the opportunity to interact with typically developing peers through school community building activities.
Hello everyone, my name is Danil and I will be the one who will be talking about the special education class in the special education and the self-contained special education class in general education.
Special education class in special education. Special education class in special education. Also called special need education, the education of children who differ socially, mentally, or physically from the average to such an extent that they are required modification of usual school practices. Special education serves children with emotional, behavioral, or cognitive impairments, or with intellectual, hearing, vision, speech, or learning disabilities, gifted children with advanced academic abilities, and children with orthopedic or neurological impairments. Students who need more intensive instruction and support are educated in this class. In public education, students with disabilities are first given an Individual Education Plan (IEP). This is a program that determines what educational services they will receive. After this is established, some types of educational structures offered to students with disabilities include placement in the general education classroom. Placement in the general education classroom, but during present times during the day, meets outside the classroom with specialists for sessions that addresses their different needs. Placement in the general education classroom, but part of the day is spent in a resource room. Placement in the special education classroom for most of the day, but placed in the general education classroom for certain classes such as physical education and art. Separated from general education entirely. Self-contained special education class in general education. The self-contained special education class is specifically designated for those children with disabilities. Self-contained programs are usually indicated for children with more serious disabilities. May be recommended to a child for a more restrictive setting, but is still located in general education school. What are self-contained classrooms? Unlike standard classrooms with large number of peers, self-contained classrooms are typically smaller settings with fewer number of students. Create to help foster enhance support for students with special need or specific difficulties. Self-contained rooms are generally comprised of about 10 students with unique struggles who are most commonly instructed by a lead teacher with a certification in special education. Self-contained classrooms will also have at least one pre-educator who provides instructional support under the guidance of the classroom teacher.
Next is residential facility. It is building designed for accommodation purposes like boarding home, nursing home, foster home, group home that licensed by Department of Health and Human Services. It is facility providing room and board and personal care for persons who have developmental disabilities. It is a residential care, residential training, or residential treatment facility where it provides accommodations, supervisions, personal care services, and mental health services for one or more unrelated children with severe emotional disturbances. And it is publicly or privately operated home. Next is home or hospital program. So it means program that provides mental health day treatment services for children especially who have disabilities. So children with disabilities, especially those with severe disabilities, often require home and community-based services or supports to help people with disabilities of all ages to live in the community and optimize their health, functioning, and well-being. So while enabling them to live in their homes and participate in their communities. So such as services may include a variety of health services like health care, skilled nursing care, occupational speech therapies, or dietary management. And also, home and community-based also include human services that support the daily living of the needs of children, so such as personal care, dressing, bathing, toileting, transportation, home safety assessment.